Going on, everybody? Welcome. Another episode of Propping Up on the Gold Boys Network, brought to you by Pickett and Boom Fantasy. Here on a Thursday instead of a Wednesday for scheduling issues, but I think it works out because now we can talk about the other four series that we didn't touch on Monday. So, yeah, welcome. How's everybody doing? Walla, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's been a fun playoff so far. A couple good nights. Last night was a little even overall. Just we were just talking about before we got on. I need to stop doing these right 5 minutes before the game starts, 10 minutes before the game starts, throwing in a little parlay. Yeah, you get those haven't been working out. Just need to practice better discipline with that. Just so excited for the playoffs. It gets a little tough.
I know it is. You see so much you like, it's hard to. I know. Yeah, all the initial plays I put in yesterday hit. You know, I had a solid day overall, up like a unit and a half, and the article plays came through, and then just all those sort of secondary looks that I wasn't as passionate about in the morning, but I still liked. I think it's just because Monday I left so many plays in my notebook that I did not play, and all of them hit, and I'm like, screw this. I'm not letting this happen again. And
Yeah.
of course, that dug into the profits a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I've definitely been playing a decent chunk of plays every night so far. I don't know. I just think we've been so prop focused during the year, but now is when I really like starting to bet on the game outcomes a little bit more. I'm a sucker for betting the home team who lost game one to win game two. Dallas and Edmonton delivered yesterday. And it's funny, all four home teams tonight fit that bill. They all lost in game one. So it'll be interesting if they all win tonight to even the series. Uh, but we can get to that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Why don't we hop into this Tampa Toronto game? I think or at least I thought Toronto was going to. I mean, Nylander came through for us, but Tampa certainly found their postseason groove again in a hurry. They absolutely just shelled Toronto. How are you feeling tonight about anything different happening?
Um, Prop wise, I went into that game and I liked the guy, played him. He came through, and then same thing, just the secondary guy I was looking at. Well, he's not a secondary guy in my notes or whatever. He was secondary. And yeah, I'm talking about Matthews. I put him in something late and he just didn't come through. But I think that looking at this game kind of the same way. I thought before game one that Toronto was gonna shoot, and you know, now I just expect it even more so. Now down a game. Um, I think Hedman's missing, right?
Is he confirmed out? I know Cernak's out. Hedman was questionable, but
Questionable.
that's at minimum down one defenseman, potentially two. Let me
Yeah.
see if there's any clarity there.
Well, either way, keeping an eye on that because that will definitely, improve if somebody like that's not there can block those shots. But
Game time
I
decision.
okay. Yeah, I'm just looking at them to shoot. I mean, you saw good volume from some of these guys. Nylander's one of them, and he had good volume in game one. I like following that kind of stuff, and I like him again in this one. Just think they're gonna have to shoot. Um, and for a guy who needs to get up to four shots, I want that volume, and he had 8 attempts, so I like that. He's hit against Tampa. Uh, he has nice volume in those games against Tampa, so I'm liking him.
Yeah, I'm confident to go. I mean, they got 31 shots off. I'm expecting a little bit more here with some desperation. But yeah, I went back. I'm with you on Nylander, and I also lost with you on Matthews. I'm going back to Matthews again. I'm just doing the same thing I did. It put me in the green. I'm betting Nylander and Matthews both. I put a unit on both their shots and half unit on each of them to score. All four of those are at plus money, and I figure at least one of these guys is stepping up. Nylander's scored in four straight now against Tampa every game this year. Uh, yeah, so I'm just double dipping there on their two best players, basically.
Yeah, it makes sense for Matthews. I thought it made sense last game too, and I think if you know having the down game should only motivate him further. I'm just sticking. I just don't see. I don't know. Could Nylander take a backseat? It could possibly happen, but just his volume was just looking real nice heading into the playoffs, and yeah, I'm willing to trust that. As long as if I think he can get 6, 7 attempts, I like his chances, especially in the postseason here, to get some on net, and if potentially some defensemen are missing on Tampa's end.
As far as like a game outcome, that I'm not as comfortable leaning on a winner, but I do like the over here. I was considering taking the over and maybe moving it down to 5.5 and pairing with something else. But I mean, last year they played in round one, 7 game series. Game one went under. Toronto won 5-0, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All those games went over. And then obviously game one this year had 10 goals, and they met 3 times in the regular season and twice ended with 7. So I do lean the over if somebody wants to go that route. I think with me putting a couple bets on Matthews and Nylander to score, and we'll talk about Kucherov as well. I bet him to score as well and his shots. That feels like more than enough eggs in the goal scoring basket for me. But if someone wants to not root on a certain player, I do think the over is the play here.
Yeah, if I was gonna pick a goal scorer, I'd probably just go with Nylander. I I know it's not just because he's hitting 4 straight against Tampa. He came in, you know, with a couple goals heading into the postseason, and it's just that volume as well. I really like. So yeah, I like that one there.
One thing I overlooked when I was looking at this series for game one, the last 2 years really just kind of starting in game one of the series they had last year. So many penalties between these two teams. They're hitting out so many power plays. If I can just, I'm going to just start at game one of last year for a second. 11 power plays, 11, 8, 11, 11, 4, 5, 11, 3, 14, 12. Um, just so many penalties between these two teams. And Toronto's definitely been handing out more. Tampa had 8 power play opportunities game one, scored on 4 of them. They also had 8 power play opportunities the last meeting in the regular season. Just the majority has been favoring the Tampa end, which is why I'm going Kucherov shots and goal. He's been the most involved power play shooter on Tampa. Last 20 games, he got 3 shots on the power play game one. He scored. Point got all 4 of his shots on the power play for whatever that's worth. But as long as that continues, it just seems like goals and shots galore on both sides. I just found that really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna be giving Tampa that many chances, Point's gonna he's gonna do something. I know Kucherov, you said has led them in the volume recently, but just the postseason, Braden Point, he's just so good, and they're gonna be on the power play. You saw it. He's just gonna be so dangerous. So if they don't clean that up, that's gonna be tough for them.
For sure. I ultimately went Kucherov. I mean, the power play involvement was nice, but he's been picking it up lately. And I think the last 7 games against Toronto, it's averaging 4.7 shots on goal per game on 9 attempts. And his attempts have been pretty solid tonight, and we talk about it a lot, but at least 5 to 7 at minimum feels like a safe floor for Kucherov tonight. And his shots on goal hit rate is around 60% when he's at that number. So I got it at plus 126. Just felt like the right grab for me. I know he was 2.5 in game one. Definitely overlooked that one, but I'm okay going to it a number up. I'm not as scared about those jumps up as we were last year.
Yeah. Actually, we didn't. I don't think we've talked about him, and maybe you don't think of him as much when you think of the shooters on Toronto, but Marner's been getting some shots on goal, and he's got a nice history against Tampa. 3 shots in 9 of 13, all 3 this season. He had 3 shots on 5 attempts in game 1, which he's not, like, typically a high volume shooter anyway. But, yeah, I just wanted to flag that one because I don't think we brought him up, and, minus 118 I'm seeing for his price, so that's a viable straight play there as well. But he's certainly done well against Tampa in the past.
Have you had a chance to look at what the impact of no bunting it does for anybody? I haven't had an opportunity to really dig into that. I wish I had.
Less penalties. I don't
Hmm.
know. Maybe that'll do less power plays for Tampa.
He is getting the box a little frequently. He was shooting a lot to end the year, so there's a little volume up for grabs.
It's fair.
Whoever's taking his spot on that line. I didn't do my proper homework, it would appear.
No, it's definitely worth noting though.
Trying to see.
Couple extra shots.
Oh, just Jarn Croc's taking his spot, I think, on the top line. I wonder what does he have a point line up? Oh, look at that. It's plus 105 on the top line. He
Ooh,
had
last
one
time he
game
was on the
one.
top line, we cashed that.
He's got a point and he's got 4 points in 3 games against Tampa this year, 1 in each.
Let's do it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, last time we were in the situation on the show talking about something where he
Huh.
went up to the top line. He came through.
Plus 105 on the top line in a game, the highest over under of the night. It's pretty
And at
good.
home, his overall hit rate 45%, and then at home 47%. But if you look at his last 10 at home, he's got 7 points, point in 6 games. It's just his
Fine.
time.
I'll
Gotta step
bet
up.
Jarn Croc point. I know AO was chatting me last night about keep an eye on him. I should let him know there's a lineup.
Yeah, we got somebody in chat saying asking about blocks for a couple guys. Yeah, I think
Blocks.
blocks are really good this postseason. It's definitely a really good angle to look into. These guys are gonna they're gonna try to stop anything. So uh, I saw who was it? I think it was Franco, our guy, one of somebody we talked to.
Mm-hmm.
He hit like a nice block shot parlay last night. So if you're looking at some of these guys for blocks, yeah, it
Franco the
makes sense,
banker.
especially if you like the other end for shots. I lost a play last night because of some blocks, and it was actually a guy Franco had in his parlay. So I had Forsling, and he got
Hmm.
blocked twice in a row by Forbert, or I think, and that was in his parlay. So that was just it was funny to see that. I was like, oh damn it, Forsling got those shots blocked, but at least I know my guy hit a big play, so that was nice.
Yeah, Franco the banker, good guy on Twitter. Chat with him as well. Maybe I just blindly tail whatever he puts out tonight. Because we were talking about block shots the other day. Really hard to research, I find. It's at least a market I haven't bet as much. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on what he's putting out tonight. I bet Alec Martinez blocks in that Vegas game in game 1. He finished with 2, so I'm sure he'll go over tonight, especially if I don't bet it. I think I saw he's minus 125 to go over 2.5.
That's how it goes, right?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, in summation, I think there's going to be some goals here. Shots on both ends look pretty solid. We're definitely both on Nylander. And Jarn Croc point, it sounds like we might have to play.
Yeah, if he's getting up there on that top line, looks pretty good.
All right, let's hop to Rangers Devils. Yeah, so Rangers won. What was it? 5-1. Is it 5-1 or was it 4-1? I'm blanking.
I think it ended 5, right?
Let me just check.
All I know is
so
the
this
one
is
was Hughes because I had him to score, and I was
yeah.
very grateful that happened, that he got that penalty shot.
Yeah, so Rangers 5-1. They scored twice on the power play. The Devils got 4 power play chances, didn't get a single shot off. Be interesting if they tinker with that top power play unit at all. Yeah, Rangers only 23 shots, but they scored 5 times. I mean, I thought this had the makings of a 7-game series, personally, 6 or 7. So on at that level, I don't hate looking to the Devils to even the series out, but I mean, there is something to be said about a pretty young team here in New Jersey and a Rangers team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Brought in a couple guys, Tarasenko and Kane, for moments like this. I mean, I do have a future on them to win it all, so I certainly did not hate that opening performance. I like to think the Devils can stay competitive. I know playoffs are different. They did beat the Rangers 3 times in the regular season. I'm going to stay off this one from a winner's perspective, but I do have a slight lean to New Jersey personally.
Yeah, I'm hoping they can get something going here. Got to be desperate at this point. I saw that they switched up their lines a bit, and I'm going to jump on a play because of that. I saw that they switched up Meyer to the top line, and so that would be with Heischer. And I'm kind of liking his shots in this one. I know he's been falling under the 3.5 line, but he's been kind of, he's getting volume. He just hasn't been landing them on net. And I've talked about this plenty of times on the show where at some point there's going to be some positive regression if you're getting that volume. And when he was with the Heischer line, I believe for a bit previously, he was looking pretty good out there. So I think he should get his chances here. I mean, he has some decent volume already, and I think that he could possibly even get a couple more attempts in this spot. And they're going to be desperate. They brought him in, so I'm just expecting him to kind of get maybe a little bit of a green light there to try to get something going. So I went with his shots. I saw minus 106. It was showing on Caesar, but when I opened up Caesars, there wasn't any. I didn't see any shot props there, but it was at minus 115 on DraftKings. But I just think he's been hitting 3 quite a bit. I just think that bump will get him there.
His point is only minus 145, which seems a little. And I get it; they only scored 1 goal on it, and it was on a penalty shot. Yeah, I think his shots look great. I might have to join you there. I was initially going to wait for maybe Igor's saves instead of, or go back to Hala with something. But yeah, I mean, Timo's volume, he seems pretty. I mean, 7 attempts seems pretty likely here. I mean, he's hitting that far more often than not. And yeah, some of these games were with San Jose, but tends to get off some shots here against the Rangers the last 2 years. And 2 of these games were with New Jersey, 7 attempts in both. I'm liking Timo.
Yeah, he has 7 attempts against the Rangers. He's hit this line, you look at it only once, but he's had those 7 attempts in each of those, and he just seems to, fall that one shot short. But I guess if you want to hop off of it, not play that because of that, I totally understand. I'm just thinking this is just that spot where it can break through that 3. It's just such a desperate spot for them. And I just like him. Just the shuffling things around. I think that's going to put a little pressure on him. And he's, like I said, he's been hitting that 3 mark. This looks like a time where, at the price, I'm willing to take the chance, even seeing some red on his chart recently. I'm just hoping for the positive regression to kick in, because 7, 8 attempts, you can get 4 on that. So I think it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, he looks good. I mean, he looks great at 3. I'm looking now; he's minus 320 for 3, which I guess is fair but gross still. I was
Yeah,
trying to see if
there's
maybe there's
somebody in the chat bringing up how he hasn't been hitting it. I totally understand, and I wanted to preface uh, what I was saying with that. But I'm playing it, so I'm going to talk about it. I'm just if I'm gonna pick a guy, that's just kind of where I went, just seeing him with Heishier, and he was getting. If you go back a little bit, he was hitting this mark with this same type of volume. So I'm just hoping that that positive regression kicks in the desperation time. But
yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
I
I think
understand.
him not hitting was basically the gist of your whole pitch for him.
Yeah,
Um,
so I don't.
not
I understand though, but I'm playing it. So hey, there you go.
No, I would agree. The volume's there at some point. That pesky fourth shot's got to break through. I don't hate looking for him to score either. I would love to pair his three shots with something, but I don't know. Those odds might have to. Like, I wonder what. Sorry, just to over 5.5 in Tampa, Toronto, and Timo 3 is plus 111. Yeah, I don't know. Hoping for better.
But you
Whoops.
brought up Paula, who's been on a run with this two-shot line, and he's been actually
That's
going
true.
over that a bit. So, I mean, you could always look towards him if you want to bump it up a line, get some plus money, or use
That's
his one
true.
and a half in a play. He's been looking all right, and the volume picked up last couple games for a guy at a 1.5 line. You love to see 14 attempts his last two games. So maybe that's a guy to look at. Maybe he's just a surprise that you can look towards here. He's been pretty solid.
Definitely. We do need to talk about Chris Kreider against the Devils. Um, I, so yeah, his point. How is his point still minus 115?
I know.
My
I
lord,
kind of want to just play it.
he's got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. He's got 13 points in his last 8 games against the Devils, a point in each. A lot of those are goals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 8 goals in his last 8 against the Devils. He had 2 in game 1. Somehow his points still minus 115 and his goals plus 220. I don't get it, but man, even his shots looks okay. I mean, he didn't get a lot of volume last game, but the guy's hitting against New Jersey.
Yeah, the point is really hard to ignore.
Minus 115. That's crazy.
Yeah, because you look at some other players on the team, and they're way more juiced than that. So just makes you wonder a little bit. But I mean, even like Tarasenko, plus 102 for a point. He's been getting points lately. So I mean, maybe they can shut down by the Devils here or something, because there's some nice prices on these point lines that these guys are hitting.
Yeah, I think Adam Fox could be worth a look as well. I think I mentioned at the beginning, but the Rangers did score twice on the power play in game 1, and they've last 2 years they've scored a power play against the Devils in 6 of the last 7 meetings. I found that interesting as well. So guys like Fox is involved there. He's got a couple power play points against New Jersey. He's got 4 power play points against them this year. He had 2 in game 1, but his point minus 145. I actually paired it with Cale Makar. I'm going back to him, even though he failed me last game. But Fox just has a point negative the last 9 against the Devils. He's averaging, I believe it's like, I wrote it down somewhere, like 1.3 points per game in the postseason the last 2 years, I believe. 1.29. Just very involved. 4 in game 1. So nice parlay piece. And I mean, in the cusp of just playing that straight if you wanted to. You're muted.
My cat was in the background making a ton of noise while you were talking, and I didn't want you to get interrupted. I was just saying the prices just seem a little weird. Uh, Plus money for a couple of these guys, but like you said, they brought in Kane, they brought in Tarasenko. These are guys who have the experience, and both of them got points in game one. Uh, so wouldn't I think there's a lot of nice options on the Rangers side here.
But I would say game wise, I expect Devils to get more shots off. I think whether that's you playing some New Jersey shot props or looking to some Rangers block shots. I think Trouba had a big block shots game in game one. I would have to check my work on that. We're going Shesterkin saves when that comes out. Yeah, I do think the Devils are capable here, even in the series. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of like absolutism, like what happened in game one, like this team stinks, they're going to get swept. I feel like I'm seeing that for like so many. There's a lot of chatter about the Oilers being frauds, and then they won 4-2 last night. So try to view it from a little bit bigger of a lens than one game, if possible. I do. The Devils are better than that 5-1 showing. I think it's going to be closer tonight.
I know a lot of people were let down by Hughes. He did have 9 attempts though, so volume.
I was let down by Hughes.
I used his 3-shot in a parlay, so that was lucky for me. But then I had Matthews in that parlay, so that stunk. But his volume was there. He definitely had some volume. So yeah, I think that they'll be shooting tonight, and he's at -150 though. It's why I kind of pivoted, but I definitely was out there shooting. Can't say he wasn't doing that.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll come back with his shots because I'm abandoning him. I want to see what Trouba's block shots odds were. They were plus money the other day. Oh wow, they got even better. Plus 140 for over 2.5. He had 3 in game one. Last 3 years, he averages 2.64 blocks per game versus the Devils. See how he's doing this year on the road. Just playing around a 2.46, kind of right on the bubble there. Probably appropriately priced. But he did have 3 in game one, and I expect the Devils to be shooting the puck even more. So plus 140 is at least interesting to me.
I think that's about all I got in this one, though, for me.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump to Seattle, Colorado. Certainly read this game wrong myself. I bet Colorado to win the first period. They did not. Went in 1-1. I'm doubling down. I'm sure that exact bet will hit. I am tinkering the approach. I just did a same game parlay of Colorado to win, to score a goal in the first, and to score over 2.5 in the game at even money. Super conservative, but I just refuse to believe Colorado's dropping both these home games to start the series to Seattle. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it's been one of the best teams since the last couple of months. They Stanley Cup defending champs. I'll go down with the ship if I have to. I didn't look at too many numbers there, just a pure gut read that there's no way they go down 0-2 here. I refuse to believe it.
I refuse. Yeah, I think for me, just with that in mind, it just makes me, if I'm going this game and I'm looking at any prop or anything, it's just got to be like McKinnon's shots. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, they got guys who can shoot, but you saw him put up 7 in game one, and now you're down. So that was on what, 11 attempts, I think. So
yeah, his volume's ridiculous right now.
Yeah, it's a little juiced, but I think last season there was a couple guys that was it Bergeron or Kirill, Perron, I think it was. Those guys
Bergeron.
they went on just this run where it's just like you just didn't care at some point. Yeah, you just trust them in the playoffs, but I think that's the most obvious angle, and it just makes a lot of sense. He's been good at home anyway, and he's not going to go down without a fight.
Yeah, I mean his last 5 games, he's averaging 6.4 shots on goal per game on 11.6 attempts. Volume has been pretty steady at over 9 attempts per game at home. lot of, I mean, if the odds are okay, I hate that it's 60 minutes, so it makes me not like laddering nearly as much, but maybe just go for 6 shots. I mean, the last couple games he's 9-7, 1, 8-7. Yeah, I thought about his goal, um, but I just feel like his shots. I mean, with his goal not even being plus money, it just felt like the shots was the better play. It was minus 130. I was about to play it straight and recommended it. Still minus 135. I guess I qualified for a promo. I forgot I even opted in for. I had a 50% profit boost, so I used it on McKinnon's shots to get it to plus 116. But I wrote an entire article. I was drinking that juice regardless on McKinnon tonight.
Yeah, I think that just feels like it feels obvious, but not in a bad way. I mean, you saw it game one, so I like that look. Yeah, I was just poking around on the other side. Tolvanen, he likes playing Colorado. It seems like this season. 4 shots in game one, 5 shots meeting before that, 4 shots the meeting before that, and then 2 in the first meeting. But was that a different team? I think. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think he was on Seattle then. So
I don't think so.
that's some nice looking games against Colorado. 4 shots on 8-7-7 attempts, and he certainly was. He scored in the last game. So
that is crazy.
That's pretty interesting to me. I wonder what his free
plus
shot
440 for a goal. Jeez.
What's his? Do you have FanDuel? Do they have that up yet? His 3-shot line. Wonder.
Let me check. I can check.
Wonder what that's looking at, because I mean, that's some nice volume. He was quiet a little bit before that, but I mean, it's playoffs, and he definitely woke up. 8 attempts. I just like those last couple of games against Colorado.
I don't see how you don't play this when I say this price.
Oh boy.
Plus 245 for 3.
For 3 shots? And I mean, I know it's regulation, but damn, I'm gonna put half a unit on that. I mean, if it goes down, it goes down, but that's a hell of a price. He's had nice volume in a couple meetings against them.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm hearing is Tolvanen 3 shots and Tolvanen goal at plus 885.
Golvanen. Nah, I don't know. I have to at least put half a unit on the shots at that price. I'll take the chance. Step up, right? It's playoffs. 4 shots, 8 attempts, game 1. Yeah.
I like it. I definitely like it. I didn't look too much at the Seattle end, just because of my belief that Colorado just bashes them.
I understand.
But I was wrong in game 1, so. I mean, Seattle did.
To me.
Yeah, that's a crazy price. What else? Lehkonen shots will probably go over because he screwed me in game 1. He had 5 attempts, couldn't get a second shot. He got his first almost immediately, never got a second. He has to be a lock for 2, especially because, again, another guy I'm abandoning, ignoring all the advice I give to people and trusting you.
Make the abandonment parlay.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking
guy
like
you're abandoning and just parlay them together and just hope that it just comes through, this trend of these guys hitting after you let go of them. Cash a nice parlay.
It'd be a Hughes shots, Lehkonen shots, and Alec Martinez blocks. There's the abandonment parlay. Unfortunately, I can't bet it. Otherwise, the name doesn't make sense. But if somebody else wants to, there's your free winner for the day.
That would just be too funny.
Maybe we could cut this later when it inevitably hits, just to make fun of what a big loser I am.
That, like, with that noise, like the wah, 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 wah.
The one that I'm not abandoning, I mentioned before, is Makar Point. Pairing with Adam Fox is plus 151. Just again, I'm just putting a lot of eggs in the Colorado basket, and I don't care. Guy averages, I think it was like 1.2 2 points per game the last 3 postseasons. He's had success against Seattle, and I don't know. It's just one of those guys. When I see him down at 0.5, I don't care. He hasn't got a point in 3 games. The guy is going to be involved sooner before later. So I am going back to him.
Yeah, I was surprised. Definitely was surprised how they came out. So um, I don't want to say that it can't happen again, but it would be definitely shocking if they don't get anything going here.
It would. But all right. So the hidden gem out of that section might have been Tolvin in 3 shots at plus 245 for a guy who, for some reason, really likes playing Colorado and getting 4 shots off. But I mean, I should at least check what his 4 shots are, I guess, to complete that.
Dear God,
They know. Don't worry, it's not offered.
they're not even letting you get a piece of that.
No,
Oh well, I'm gonna try this out.
man, McKinnon plus 158 for 6. Not the worst thing in the world. All right, let's hop to the last game here. Winnipeg, Vegas. I think heading into this series, I thought it was going to be a very tight one, defensive focused. 2 good goalies. I leaned the under overall. Winnipeg did. Anyone who was on the under, I'm so sorry. I feel like that was looking really good, and then the Jets just got a couple late goals for it to hit 6. They held Vegas to 17 shots, which is crazy. It'll be interesting. I kind of thought Winnipeg had a chance here to maybe win this series going in. I don't know if you had given that much thought, but I do feel like Vegas is obviously going to up the intensity tonight. It makes me want Hellebuck saves, which are not up last I checked. I just feel like there's no way they're limited to 17 shots again.
Yeah, it's just funny hearing you say 17 shots because Riley Smith had 5.
I know he looked so good too before that game. I'm like, I can't do it, and then I see him with
I
4
might do
immediately.
the same thing here, half a unit on him at 3, because there was a point during the season where he was shooting a ton on the power play. Um, so just think, what did he have? He had a couple minutes of power play time, two and a half, uh, in that game. So they didn't get a lot of shots off, but he had 5 on 6 attempts. That could be a good parlay piece at the 1.5 line. But again, maybe half a unit on the plus money there. I think there's been a lot of guys just blowing by their line. What, Boldy, didn't he have 7 shots both games? Uh, so now's the time. I think if you really like a guy, try to get that plus money. Granted, it's regulation time.
Yeah, that does make it tough.
Mm-hmm.
Hellebuck does have a save lines up. It's 27.5. He's hitting 4 of his last 6. He's gone under in 2 straight against Vegas, but before that, I mean, it does leak into last year, so I'm not sure how much you can trust it. He had 1 game this year, 46 saves, and then 3 last year, 42, 35, and 42 saves. Obviously, a little different teams, but I mean, I got to think Vegas is getting more shots tonight at home to even the series. I don't know.
Yeah,
I still like Winnipeg a little bit, to be honest. I don't know. I just feel like they've got a really nice balance.
Connor looked good out there. His shots don't look awful.
No, I thought his shots looked pretty okay. I for some reason have a vibe this is going to be a big penalty series. I don't know why. It could be a completely blind comment. They each got 3 power plays last game, so Kyle Connor had 2 shots in the power play last game. I thought his 2.5 shots looks pretty solid as a parlay piece. He's hitting it all 4 games against Vegas this year.
Yeah, and then sorry, I just was looking at the flip side. We are just talking about Smith, and he's hitting all 4 games. So maybe there's some same game parlay opportunity in this one. Couple of these guys, but yeah, I like Connor. I like seeing that hitting against Vegas, and just that was a big game for them right out the gates. But Yeah, I think Dubois hit his shots as well. Yeah, so they were firing away out there. I saw something that kind of stuck out. If you do believe the Jets can just keep it moving and score, I'd say look at Morrissey point or assist. He entered into the postseason with a point in 4 or 5, and then got an assist in game 1. And against Vegas, he has a point in 5 of 7, all but one of them being an assist. So he's he stepped up in this matchup, and he came into the postseason dishing out the assists. And I mean, if you have props.cash and bring up his chart, the beginning of the season was just it's like almost automatic for him to get an assist or a point, or rather. So he's looking pretty good again. If you like them to keep that momentum, he's at plus 118 for an assist and minus 116 for a point. So both very playable.
Yeah, his assist looks
He
pretty
didn't have any
nice.
shots on goal, so and only 2 attempts. So I mean, could he score? Could he shoot this time and score? Yeah, but if you think he's been getting a lot of assists and the volume isn't crazy, so I would lean assist if he was going to be involved. But points still a great price.
Yeah, there's some pretty good. I mean, Dubois point, yeah, 2 in game 1, pretty steady to end the year. And against Vegas, minus 132 for a point.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I know the thing about Vegas. I know been letting up a lot of shots to centers to end the year. So I consider Dubois game 1, and he did come through. No win for me, but if you care about that positional data, I mean, Dubois volume really nice here last couple games.
yeah, it's been hitting the line. That's true. Vegas, they were tighter to start the season, but started loosening up. And I think last season too, when there was points when they would get loose with shots, and it was always the center position. Um, I feel like is who's capitalizing uh, a lot of the time. So Dubois could be a good look there. Still pretty reasonable at minus 135 for his shots. But yeah, there's some nice looking angles on that side. Um, Again, just looking at prices, it makes you think like, all right, what's up? Maybe they're expecting Vegas to give them a tougher time, down a game and at home. So I think that's what most of these prices are. Even back when we were talking about the Devils and the Rangers, it's just I think that might be what some of the lines are, but they still look pretty good. And if you're on the side of the Jets, you got some nice choices.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I lean the under here, and I kind of think Winnipeg can win again. I don't know. I'm just not sold on Vegas personally, but I was considering maybe to bring it back to that first game, maybe Toronto, Tampa over 5.5, and Winnipeg, Vegas under 6.5. Uh, I don't know. I've been losing a lot of these 2-leg parlays, so I'm trying to do a little bit less of them, but I don't know. I just feel like the series is going to be really tight. Uh, Maybe I'll eat my words in 11 hours, but I lean the under.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it was some late stuff going on in the last game that uh changed it. So if Vegas can tighten it up a bit, that's definitely a good outcome there.
Is there
That's everything.
anything else?
All four.
Yeah. Is there anything else in this one before we go to best bets?
In this one, nah, I mean, I think the guys we talked about were pretty good in the Vegas side. I'm just gonna pop on over on FanDuel and see what the plus money is for Riley Smith at 3, and see if it's something I want to, put half a
Still
unit
not
on.
up.
Yeah,
Still not up yet. Hopefully soon. Yeah, I wouldn't hate like a Kyle Connor 3, Riley Smith 2 combo myself.
that's really nice. Yeah,
But
which actually,
they're
if that's their default lines, you could do. over on Bet365 or something. You don't need to wait for the alt lines on FanDuel for that one.
That's a good point. I don't have that, but I do still have Fliff. So I could do it there. I forget that I still have Fliff now that I've got this full access at my fingers. All right, best bets. What do you got? Save one that we're doing for Pickett, but besides that.
Oh yeah, right. Good thing you said that. I was about to go right in on that one. Dang. I know it's unpopular. I guess it would be unpopular just based on his recent production, but I talked about Timo a bit, and just the Devils they really have to do something here, and I think that putting him up on the top line, they're putting a little pressure on him, and I'm hoping that he can capitalize. He's had the volume, so I'm just hoping that he can have the positive regression in his efficiency with his shots. But yeah, I'm taking the chance on that one, despite his recent numbers.
Great. I just really like Kucherov tonight, just based on how many penalties Toronto keeps handing out when these two teams meet. He's just very involved there. So I'm all over Kucherov shots and goals. I really like those prices. I was surprised his goal was plus 215 on DraftKings, to be honest. It just felt a little off to me. Let's see. I love McKinnon shots. I'm trying to think of stuff I didn't put in my article and share out already. Jarncroc point, I think, is one we found that seems pretty solid. I might just do a half unit on it. I don't know if you want to join me, but plus 105 for a guy on the top line. I'm already so invested in that game, so I might as well just keep fun on the same sort of play style, because that can't possibly backfire.
No, I like looking at half a unit there, just because I feel like maybe for me it's always hard to back Toronto in most things besides their shots. I feel like they just never come through when I want them to with anything else. But he was a guy who did last time he had this opportunity. We brought him up. I played his point, and it came through when he was top line. So I don't mind that look in a game. They really need to step up.
For sure. I also want to flag. Hold on, I'm just getting these odds together. Somebody out there should really just bet on these three things that I'm leaving behind that screwed me. Jack Hughes shots, Lehkonen on Colorado shots, and Alec Martinez over 2.5 block shots on Vegas. That's plus 360. Just three guys I really all liked in game one, and I've decided they're dead to me. I should probably play this myself. Nothing has really changed at all. So I'm gonna just throw that out there. A couple losers from game one. All righty,
I was gonna say one more before we got into the.
Yeah, what do you got?
I wanted to just. I did put the half unit on Tolvanen at three shots. I just think plus two. I already froze 200 something. I'm willing to take the chance after 4 shots on 8 attempts game one, and he's had big games against Colorado since joining the Kraken. I'll take that price for half unit.
Yeah, and your reaction when you heard those odds. Yeah, you got to do it. Love it.
All right, let's get into the pick and play.
Yeah, so pick and play of the day is going to be William Nylander over 3.5 shots on goal in the early game. His odds this morning were plus 105 on DraftKings. I'd have to double check if they still are. Why don't I just check here? Minus 105 now on DraftKings, might be slightly better at FanDuel. Still playable for sure. There's a desperation aspect here. Toronto down 1 after just years and years of getting humiliated in the first round. At some point, you think they're going to step up. So that's certainly, you got to think a guy like Nylander is going to try and generate some offense. He's hitting all 4 games against Tampa this year. He had 4 in game 1 on 8 attempts, and he scored 6, 8, and 5 shots in the other 3. He also scored in all those games. And Cernak's out. Victor Hedman's game time decision. Tampa's down 2 defensemen. That's certainly going to open up a couple more avenues here for Toronto to get shots. So that is our pick and play of the day.
Yep. Very nice.
Cool. All righty. Yeah, thanks for joining. Good luck tonight. Enjoy. We got 4 games every day. It never ends. It's great. And we'll be back here on Monday.
Yeah. Thanks for joining in. Good luck if you join in on any of these plays. I think we found some good ones, so let's get some wins.